We are in Minibytes session 11. Welcome. My name is George Tyson. I'm a Senior Education Advisor at North Yorkshire County Council in the School Improvement Service. And I'm also the EdTech Advisor for North Yorkshire Schools ICT. North Yorkshire Schools ICT, combined with the EdTech Service, are going through a rebranding at the moment, which is NYES Digital. So that's the Schools ICT part of things and my EdTech role. The NYES stands for North Yorkshire Education Services. And that's the overarching service which provides everything from school improvement all the way through to technology support and groundskeeping and maintenance if you're in the geographic area. So we provide all those services through NES. This, as I've said, is our 21 and 21 series. Are we halfway through? Session 11 out of 21. Well, halfway through by the end of halfway through today. In 5 minutes time or 6 minutes time, we'll be halfway through exactly. Minibytes session 11 is making branching stories or an escape room experience in PowerPoint. If you are looking for becoming a Microsoft Innovative Educator, you can use the code at the bottom of the screen there, which is TGTFDA2321, and that will give you 300 credits towards your MIE certification if you click on it and register or log in at education.microsoft.com. I'm a Microsoft Master Trainer. I don't normally speak this fast in whole school sessions, but for 21 minutes, we've got to get through a lot of content, so I do. Apologies for that in advance. So here we go. In order to make a branching story or an escape room in PowerPoint, we've got to have PowerPoint open, which is quite fortunate here, but I'm going to take you from the very beginning through PowerPoint. For this demonstration today, we're using the desktop app version of PowerPoint, but you could use the browser version of PowerPoint 365. So we're going to start a new PowerPoint presentation here. Just by clicking on new and then new blank presentation. Oh, great. PowerPoint's not responding. There we go. Thank you, PowerPoint. You scared me for a moment there. Let's just remove these slides because I've got the code elsewhere. So you're all familiar with this, presentation 2. It's just a blank presentation in PowerPoint. Now, before I get any further, I'm just going to map out my PowerPoint deck. So we call the slideshow a deck. If you look at the slides on the right, we've only got one, but I'm going to give my deck slides names. OK, so this is the home slide. And I'm going to put in a few more, and this is just going to give me some bookmarking points. I might need 8, I think. Let's see how it goes. Number 2, I'm going to give it a very exciting title of question 1. Slide 3, I'm going to call it question 2. Slide 4, I'm going to call it. You've got it, question 3. And these are just placeholder titles because they don't actually have to be there, but it helps to reference it later on. I'm also going to put on another slide, which is going to be called the decision tree, the final answer, the ultimate challenge, if you will. So challenge, I'll put an exclamation mark in there just to really make it exciting. Then after the ultimate challenge, you're going to have two answers. You're going to have a success. And you're going to have a failure. OK, so these are just all placeholders, and I'll get rid of this last one here because we don't need 8, we just need 7. So now if I went through my slideshow and I pressed F5 to watch the slideshow, I got home, question 1, 2, 3, 4, ultimate challenge, success and failure. That's rubbish. It's not interactive at all. It's just flowing through a slideshow. So how do we get moving further from here? Well, let's start off by we need to be able to get home. So with PowerPoint, we're going to be using navigation tools you may or may not have done before or used before. So we're going to be looking at turning off advancing on the click. So currently, if you click anywhere in PowerPoint, then you will go to the next slide automatically. So let's change that. So to do that, I go to the very top of my tabs along the top here, and I look for the transitions menu. Now you might be familiar with the transitions from blurring and fading and wiping and so on. So I will put that on there as well. I'll put a fade on just for the sake of it, or I'll put a push on or a wipe on, and any of these things can be done. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to pick something jazzy just for the sake of it. So here we go. I'm going to pick dissolve. Oh, that looks a bit garish, but that's fine. That's not how we stop clicks making a difference. If you go to the right hand side of this dissolve menu, we go past the effect options. And on the right, we've got advanced slide. I'm going to uncheck the box which says on mouse click. So this means that if I click the mouse, it will not move the slide on. But however, that's only on the home slide. So I also need to look down and to the left where it says apply to all. So I've put on a dissolve fade. I've turned off advanced slide and mouse click, and I've clicked apply to all, which means that every single slide now will not advance unless I do something else. Let's try that and see. Press F5 on the slide. Horrible dissolve coming in because it's opening up. But if I click my mouse, you can hear it. Nothing's happening. I press escape to come out of that PowerPoint slide. I now know the mouse click is not working. So that's the first part. I've turned off advanced on click. But how do I get anywhere? Well, let's go into the other slides, but not the home slide for now. I'm going to click on this slide here, question 1. And I'm going to insert a picture. Now the picture is going to be my home button. Okay, so to get this done quickly, I go to shapes. At the very bottom of shapes, if I scroll down, I've got something called action buttons. Now action buttons are forwards and backwards and skipping to sections. And I've got a home little house there. If I click on action button home and draw a picture, it takes me home each and every time. You'll notice it brings up something called the action settings menu straight away. It's got hyperlink to first slide. This is the default for the home button, which is great. So I'm going to leave it on there as hyperlink to first slide. And I'm going to click on OK. I can click on play sound as well and add a little sound in there if I want to. We can look and pick lasers or push or suctions or typewriters or whooshes. Whooshes sound good. Let's click on that and click on OK. Let's see what happens when we click on home in due course. But before I do that, I'm holding down Control and C to copy this button, and I'm going to paste it into every single slide so they can all go home. Apart from the ultimate challenge, success can go home and failure can go home. So I've now got the go home buttons on each one. I'm going to start my slideshow from here, holding on Shift and F5 to see question 1. Let's click on this and see what we can see in here. Goes back home. Brilliant. Right, let's get some pictures going. So this is a home slide. It doesn't look very homey, so I'm going to look at the design of the presentation. And I'm going to see if I can pick anything here which looks a bit more like a puzzle. That looks quite good, actually. OK, now look, it says click to add subtitle. I'm going to change this. But before I do, I'm going to move my home description off the slide. It's going to move it off to one side over here. So I know that slide's called home, but I don't want to see it when I'm playing the slideshow. How do I know that's worked? Press F5. I've got no writing. Brilliant. OK, so now I'm going to type in this ready for the challenge. I'm going to choose this is my text box here. Ready for the challenge? Make notes here. OK, make notes below, in fact. OK, so this here is going to be my descriptive text. I don't really like this font, but I can change it in a moment. And I'm going to do this. I'm just going to change the font from Garamond to being, I'll go for Arial rounded because it's quite nice. I'll make it a bit bigger. Now this is just becoming friendly just to get things going. And I've made it outside the box. Now, if I look at my slide, I do have a nice layout there. It is ready for the challenge, but how can I make notes in here? There's no text box or anything. So I need to be looking at making some sort of interaction tool in there. So here's the first tip. We've turned off the advance on click. We've made home buttons, but now we need to look for the next part of the challenge, which is actually making notes. So we're going to have notes on this card. You can see the image of a card there. But to make an interactive notebook, I'm going to have to add a new tab to the top. If you are aware of this, you can add something called a developer tab. If you didn't know about it, I'm going to show you how to do it. So I find a blank bit of the ribbon and I right click. The ribbon's all these grey buttons along here. Right click on it and I've got a tool called customize the ribbon. So right click and customize the ribbon. When it wakes up, it's going to be opening something which is the ribbon management tool. So this is the customize the ribbon tool. And you can see here on the right all the main tabs that are there. And pretty much all of them are clicked, apart from developer. Now, developer by default is not ticked. So tick that box and click on OK. And suddenly, along the top, we've got something called the developer tab. So that's great. We've added the developer tab there. We are now going to make use of the developer tab by seeing what it can offer us. You'll see here it's got some programming in here, some macros and so on. We're not going to cover those today, but we are going to look at this particular button here. It's got an A, B, and a line. But if you look at it, it says text box active X control. Now this means that it's a text box that can be controlled interactively from the developer tab. So I click on that, and it's just like any other text box. I just draw out the line. So I'm going to pick my border here. I'm going to try and go artistically between the lines. Oh, I've missed it a little bit, never mind. Okay, so I've now got a text box. Now, the problem is that this text box will just be a blank square. It doesn't actually do anything right now until I try and change something. But to change it, I need to actually go on past that into its properties. So the text box properties, I can either right click and select property sheet, or I can make sure I'm clicked on the text box and click properties on the developer tab. So that's where I'm going to go. Can you see this little menu's popped out here? This little floating menu controls the code for this text box. So we're going to be looking at this, but to be able to see what we're looking at, I'm going to go down these descriptors and look for text. Whatever it says in text there is what's written in the text box. So for example, if I put down something here, I've written something here, but it's appeared in the text box, and that will always appear in the text box. I'll delete it later on, but that's fine. Okay. I'm going to change the font style on this. So there's a few different options here for changing the font style. So I can text a line and I can change the font. Just look down here for font. It's current Arial. I click on the 3 dots and it opens up an old style font picker, which hasn't changed for a long time. I'm going to make it reasonable to look at. So I'm going to pick Bradley Hand because that's quite a nice one to read. And if you look here, something here will change. And I'm going to pick a big font size, so I'm going to pick something like kind of 24. Okay, whoopsie daisy, it always bounces you out of PowerPoint whenever you do that, but there you go, you can see it's changed something here. If I want to change the font again, I can make it Broadway, I'll make it a bit bigger, 26. Every time you click on OK, it bounces you out, but PowerPoint is still there. Okay, so I can now see something here. Okay, so I'm going to just change that one last time. I'm going to go to a slightly more readable font because we're on the internet, but you can pick whatever you want to. Click on OK, bounces me out, and I have to go back to my PowerPoint, which is there, and I can see now I can read that font. So I've clicked on the properties, I've gone down, changed the font by clicking on the 3 dots. Now the main thing about this is I've got the font size. I can change the back color as well by clicking on this, and I get a drop-down menu. If I want to pick one of these buttons, I can do to get a blue background, or if I want to, I can click on palette and select a different selection of colors. So I can have a slightly off-white color there. I can have a garish red if I want to. It doesn't work very well with my plant. I'm going to go for that creamy color. Before I go away, the main thing I need to know is that where it says locked needs to be false. If it's true, it means the text box is just fixed to that text. If it says false, it means you can change what the content of the text box is. If it says multi-line, if it says false, it's just a single line. If it says true, you can do multiple lines in the text box. Okay, so let's just try that out and see. I'll say false for now. And then the next bit is down the bottom where it says something here for the text. I'm just going to delete this text from the text box. I've now got a blank area. Okay, that's it for now. I just click on the little red cross here to close it. It's gone. So I've now got an interactive text box. How do I know it works? I'm going to press F5 to start my PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to click in the box, start typing. There we go. I've got my notes page. I'm now ready for my escape room. I'm nearly there. I've got question 1, 2, 3, 4, well, to ultimate challenge and so on. So question 1, we're going to make this easy. We're going to try and make a letter answer for each one, but bear in mind you can make this as easy or complex as you want to. So I'm going to make this just a standard text box, okay, and we're going to pick an answer. So what is 17 add 21? Okay. It's just a quick, straightforward answer there, and I'm going to give 3 answers, but I'm going to put them in boxes just to make them stand out. So let me just click on Insert, Shape. I'm going to pick a rounded rectangle because I prefer rounded rectangles. I don't know why, I just do. Copy that and paste it 2 more times. If I put one there and I put one there, I can then select over all those rounded rectangles and use a tool called Align at the top. I can align middle, which gets them all lined up straight. Now I can also use Distribute horizontally, and it spreads them out. So that's lovely. It's all nice and neatly spread out. Each of these boxes I can type in, so let's just work out in my head. 17 add 21. So 7 add 1 is 8. 2 add 1 is 3. So it's 38. So in here, I'm going to give the correct answer. Here is 38. Okay. And then over here, I'm going to pick 27, and over here, I'm going to pick 2. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which ones I pick. Each of these text boxes can go somewhere. If I click on the text box, now do you remember where the home had an action center button? Yeah, well, action center allows you to hyperlink within a PowerPoint presentation. So 38 is my correct answer. I'm going to insert, and next to hyperlink, I've got action. So insert action, and it's going to be hyperlink to, I get to pick next slide. Okay, if I drop down from there and go back to a different slide number. So I'm going to just cancel this for now because I need to have a correct answer space. I've got failure or success. This success slide I'm going to copy a couple of times. I'm going to just use that and duplicate slide by right clicking and duplicate slide. Right click, duplicate slide. I will need one more. Okay. Failure is going to be at the bottom, and this is going to be a please try again. I'm going to move the home from my failure down to here. Okay, that's the end of the failure. So success, this is going to be success 1. That's going to be success 2, and that's going to be success 3. I'm going to give each of these success points an answer. So your code letter is C. Okay. This one, your code letter is A. Success 3, your code letter is, any guesses? T. Code letter is CAT. That's my 3 answers. So this question set here, 17 at 21. If it goes correct, it's going to go through the actions to the slide. Clicking on slide there, and I've got success 1. Okay. Okay, for the other 2, that and that, I'm going to do the action. I can't do actions to more than one item at a time. Action. This is going to be hyperlink to. That's going to be slide. And it's going to be failure because it's wrong. Okay. And this one here, action, hyperlink to, slide, and again failure. So this is where the slide names come in really handy. I can play sounds of disappointment and other things, but I'm not going to do it for the sad noises. On the successful one, I'll leave the sound off as well. So I've got this done. I'm going to just copy this question set across to question 2 and to question 3. And just for speed, I'm going to make the same question the same. Okay, what's 17 plus 21? I'm going to copy the same question format. Okay, and it's going to be what is 21 take away 17. Okay, so mental math 21 take away 17, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 4. Okay, so that's my correct answer there. Now I'm going to make sure that that 4 correct box takes me to hyperlink to. That's going to take me to a slide, which is answer 2, success 2. Okay. The other ones, because they're copied, are taking me back. If I look at my actions, we'll find out in a second. Hyperlink to, and that's going to go to slide, failure. Okay. This one here, hyperlink to. I can do failure from hyperlink as well if I want to. Okay, the last one, question 3. This is going to be again the same sort of question. What is I'm going to say 20. What is the correct? It could be anything you want to really. Okay, but what's the correct spelling? Or what is the number 38? Yeah, so what's number 38 in digits? I'm just going to put down 338. I'm going to put down 83. And now I've got to link these shapes very quickly. So hyperlink, I've got failure. Okay, this one here is hyperlinking to a failure already. Again, I can click on hyperlink if I want to and select failure, or I can click on action center. but hyperlinking now is a bit faster, and that's going to go to success 3. Okay, so now I've got my questions in place. I've got my notebook in place if I need to write notes, and I can go to the ultimate challenge. So the ultimate challenge is coming from here, and it's going to be inserting one of those shapes again. And this one here is, are you ready for the ultimate challenge? Okay, so are you ready for the ultimate challenge? I'll change that font sizes very quickly. So home and make the font bigger. And this box here will take you to, I'm going to again use the insert. I'm going to use hyperlink this time around. It doesn't matter if it's hyperlink or action. And then the ultimate challenge is here. Okay. The ultimate challenge is click on the correct animal. I'm going to insert a picture. So I'm going to pick an online picture here. I'm going to search Bing for pets because I want to get a picture of a cat. I've gone on Creative Commons, pets clip art. By having Creative Commons only, it means I can pick anything I want to, and that picture there is what I want. So I've got my pets clip art there. Click on the correct animal to win. Okay. Now this cat is correct, but the whole picture there is wrong. So I'm going to format this picture again, putting it on insert. I'm going to do hyperlink to failure. Okay. And on this one here, I'm going to add the cat. By doing the cat, I'm going to quickly draw an outline of the cat. So draw an outline, I can do shapes. And I can do this one here, which is a squiggly line which fills itself in. And it's called the contour tool. So I hold down my mouse button. I'm going to draw just quickly on the outline outside of the cat. I'm going to try and be outside the lines and inside the lines. So if I click on the cat anywhere. Okay, so I've now got a squiggly line there. If I shape fill it, you can see I've got the outline of the cat. Okay, this image here, I'm going to hyperlink that. Insert, hyperlink, and that's going to be the success. That's the final success. I'm going to use the action button here because it's hyperlinked to success. I'm going to play a sound. This is going to be applause. And I'm going to do OK. But that's pretty obvious it's a cat. So I just need to change this picture here. I need to use the shape effects. So by clicking on the cat, I can then change its shape fill. If I get rid of the fill, it will not work. So I click on more fill colors, make it 100% transparent and OK. Shape outline can get rid of the outline. And now we've done 24 minutes. Let's see how we go. Click on F5. Ready for the challenge? Make notes below. OK. Oh no, I can't get to my challenge. Question 1. OK. What is 17 add 21? 38. Success 1. Your code letter is C. Let's go home. And I can write down C. Now I haven't set this up quite right because I need to do questions 1, 2, and 3. So I just need to do that very quickly. Insert. I'm just going to do a text box here. Just for speed, there you go, questions 1, 2, and 3. And you can put this format wherever you want to, obviously, but so on the question 1. That's going to hyperlink to question 1. This is going to hyperlink to question 2. I'm just going to hyperlink to question 3. Okay, so I've now got that. I'll need to make that look better, but I'll just leave it there for now. Let's try that one last time. Leave the challenge below. Are you ready for the challenge? Sorry. Because out of text box, you can't see it because the text in the way. So you make that a bit bigger so I can see it. Again, I'll change the font to something which I can actually read. Let's pick a black color there instead. Okay. F5. I can make my notes here. Question 1 is there. That says 38, which is great. Go back home. Question 2, if I get that wrong, then it says please try again, it takes me home. Question 3, I can try it. If I get that wrong, I go back home. If I get question 3 right, I get it right. It gives me a letter T, so I've got my answers. And finally, ready for the ultimate challenge? Yes. Click on the correct animal. There's a cat there. I didn't realize there was 2 cats on this picture. Sorry, I did it for speed. If I click anywhere which is not the correct answer, ultimate challenge, click on the correct one. That's been a very, very, very whistle-stop tour of how you make PowerPoint work. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you so much for staying with me. It's been a bit longer than 21 minutes, I'm afraid, but hopefully you've got a lot out of that time.